quarterfinal matchup between the number 7 seed Manti Templars and the number 18 seed American Leadership Academy. My name is Tanner Wilkinson. We've got Greg Sterner joining us on the color commentary for this morning. Adam Coombs is our producer here this morning. We're going to have a plethora of guys doing camera work, as well as Brad James on stats. Well, Greg, playoffs, if not, to quote the legendary Indianapolis Colts coach who just slipped. Jim Mora does just slipped my mind. I had it and then it slipped.
That's why we're a good team.
That's right. As we bring you playoff action here on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network and Centricom Channel 10.
We're here in the playoffs.
Yeah,
There's no questioning whether we're here in the playoffs. And that first game, baby, what a good game.
Yes.
Grantsville, furious comeback, 5 for 5 from the free throw line with under a minute left to pull away from Ben Lohman, 35-34. Just clutch free throws there by Carter Killian and
he's a clutch player.
And the Moritzen kid, Gabe Moritzen, in the last minute. So good first game. Hope we have a good one here too.
Yeah, really hoping for another good matchup. Now, people wondering, 18 seed? ALA 18 seed. They were the 18 seed. Now you've got UMBC, you've got Oral Roberts, you've got Florida Gulf Coast, and then you've got American Leadership Academy. 2 major upsets by this Eagle team to get here to Weber State. First, I was surprised they beat Richfield, but I thought a 15-18 matchup, anything can happen. Well, they came into Mount Pleasant, and the big question I had was, is North Sanpete going to play timid, and is ALA going to play loose? And that's exactly what happened over the weekend with the Eagles getting the win up there against the number 2 seeded Hawks. A really impressive performance, starting really with their guard play, just terrific guard play between Riker Mason, their star sophomore Russell Gibson, and then Isaac House, who had hit 3 3-point shots all year, shot 8% from 3, hit 2 really big second-half threes in that game.
Yeah.
And that's what's gotten the Eagles to this point as the 18th seed. They have played loose. They have played like the underdog, and that's where they find themselves once again here this morning against the Templars of Manti.
One thing I've noticed from ALA the last few years, and this is under 2 different coaches. They have a new coach this year, is if you ever play a little Texas Hold'em, it's kind of scary sometimes to play a guy that just bets big on every single bet. And ALA kind of does it. They're shooters, man. They're just going to go out and shoot. They're volume shooters. I called them that last year. Last year they didn't hit a very high percentage of shots, but they would just go shoot and shoot and shoot. And some games they would get on, and that scares you a little bit. This year, a lot better shooters as far as percentage-wise. Russell Gibson shooting over 45% from the field, averaging his 18 points a game. Had a great game against North Sanpete. And, ALA's a good team. 18 seed. They're 9-14 on the year, 2-6 in Region 15. They've looked better than that these first 2 playoff games.
Yeah, been really impressed by the Eagles. The Templars have taken a little bit different of a route to get where they're at today. They received a first-round bye, so they did not play in the first round. Second round, you had the chance to do that game against Juab.
Yeah.
Really hard to beat a team 3 times, especially when the first 2 matchups were extremely competitive. I thought the Templars played their best game, possibly of the season, but especially against the Juab Wasps this past Saturday, as I was able to be there for the first 3 quarters of that one, and Templars just looked sharp, played probably their best defensive performance. I thought just defensively they were so locked in and so clamped down, and that's defense is going to be something they really need to bring to the table tonight against an ALA team that scored 66 points against the Templars' rival in North Sanpete last weekend.
When we prepare for these games, you kind of think about things that you're going to talk about in the pregame. And what I was going to say, Tanner, was that was the best Manti defensive performance of the year, in my opinion. And you took the words right out of my mouth. We did not prepare that, so that's perfect. Because it was holding Juab to only 39 points. And a lot of times teams score a little bit less points in the playoffs than they do early in the year. They're not as free. Possessions are more valuable. But, man, Manti played good defensively. They held Juab to 1 for – it's either 18 or 19. 1 for 19 from behind the arc in that game. And you can say, well, that's just poor shooting maybe from Juab. Manti's done that all year. They held South Sevier to 0 3-pointers in the entire game early this year. Manti's done a great job on the perimeter all year, and that carried over to that Juab game. And from start to finish, Manti really dominated that game. 18-point victory over their rivals from Nephi to move here to Ogden at Weber State, and just a really good game. And if they can carry that, who knows, man?
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? This Devin Shakespeare's taken the top-ranked team and did what they were supposed to do and won a state championship. He's taken a team that came in, I think this was before the RPI.
Right.
I think they were the number 4 seed
in the region.
In their region. And they went and beat the number 1 team and then won state in 2018. So maybe you got another run here out of Coach Shakespeare's team. We'll see.
And even that team in his first year, they were good. And I don't remember if they took the region title or not that year. I think they were number 2 in that region. And still came away with the state championship. So it'll be interesting to see how this run begins for the Templars. We're about 3 minutes away from our opening tip-off. This has been part of the Snow College pregame show. Did you know that Snow College was just ranked the safest campus in Utah? That means you can live on campus in a location mom and dad can feel good about. That's what we call a win-win. You can visit snow.edu. Our scoreboard tonight brought to you by CO Building this morning. Going to take a while to get used to that one this morning. Brought to you by CO Building Systems. Roof and wall panels and all the trimming at the best prices anywhere. That's CO Building. We'll have a Barclay Mechanical score update. Parowan getting kind of beat out by Enterprise. I thought that would be the matchup to watch in 2A. I did not expect Enterprise to win that by 19 points.
That's a semifinal or final type matchup between those two schools. And to see him in the quarterfinals and then Enterprise to do that, wow.
Yeah, that's impressive from the Wolves. And then, of course, the winner of this game will get Grantsville after the Cowboys survived a Wisconsin-Virginia type matchup. 35-34 was the final. Cowboys escaped with some free throws late over the Scots of Ben Lomond. And honestly, if we're looking at the future for Manti, that actually might benefit the Templars because that was a really impressive crowd of Scots fans that were here.
Wow.
So,
and as they were walking out, a couple of the students walked past me up at our broadcast booth where we're at here to leave. That's where they had to go. And they leaned over to me and said, "Were you impressed by our student section?" And I said, "Absolutely, man." They had the bagpipes and the kilts and the drums. That was fun. So, yeah, like as you mentioned, at least Manti doesn't have to face that student section if they pull off a victory today.
Should be interesting. About 2 minutes away from tip-off. We'll take a quick break and be right back with our opening tip-off on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, Centricom Channel 10, and MTCC Channel 3.
Since 1947, Barney Trucking has built a reputation of unparalleled customer service and satisfaction in the trucking industry. Barney Trucking is now hiring drivers statewide, including Beaver, Millard, Sevier, San Pete, Juab, Carbon, Emery, Utah, and Salt Lake counties, as well as many other locations. The job includes a home daily schedule, excellent pay, benefits, training, retirement, a positive work environment, and requires a Class A CDL license with doubles endorsement. To apply, go to barneyjobs.com. That's barneyjobs.com.
In the days of the mountain men, Cache Valley, Utah became a central gathering place for trappers and explorers. They named it Cache because it was there they would store their goods and come together to trade and connect. This spirit of community continues today at Cache Valley Bank with locations and services throughout Utah, including 3 branches right here in San Pete County. They are Central Utah's financial outfitter. No matter your mountain, they want to see you reach the top. Cache Valley and Central Utah are rooted in grand expeditions. Let's keep that heritage alive together. Discover Cache Valley Bank. Mountains await. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
At MTCC, we're more than just internet people. We're the connecting your life people. For the past 114 years, MTCC has been the local industry leader in connecting people and businesses by providing professional service with the best options in technology. If you need phone, TV, or internet service for your home or business, come see the experts at MTCC. Call or text us today at 435-835-2929. MTCC, connecting your life since 1907.
It's beginning to warm up again, and that means it is time to get your boats, motorcycles, and side-by-sides ready for another spring and summer. As you begin to polish up the chrome on your prized toys, remember how valuable these toys and the occupants are. Here at Risk Managers, we specialize in insuring these valuable items because we are out there with you in the hills and on the water. Please reach out today or come see us in Ephraim or Taylorsville. Visit us at riskman1.com.
You're listening to live high school sports action on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, Centricom Channel 10, and MTCC Channel 3.
And welcome back on in as our Snow College pregame show wraps up. Did you know that Snow College has the lowest tuition rate in the state? On average, you'll pay half as much at Snow as you'd have to pay at the bigger schools. Low tuition and ranked number 1 for student success. That's what we call a great value. Learn more at snow.edu. Templars and Eagles just about to get set here as the starting lineups being announced. In the house that Damian Lillard, he didn't build it, but he made it a pretty fun place to come watch some hoops. The
Purple Palace.
The Purple Palace, yeah. I love it. I've never been in here before, Greg.
Yeah,
this is a pretty phenomenal setting that we've got here. Let's get the starting fives brought for ALA, which they've got a pretty good amount of students here, more than maybe I thought. They're going to go with Russ Gibson, the sophomore, wearing number 3. Senior wearing number 5, Isaac House gets the start. He did not start against North Sanpete. Came off the bench and played really well in that one.
Came in there looking like Eddie House in that game. They're dropping threes on him.
No doubt. Number 14, Matthew Casperson, a senior. He is the Joe Ingles, does a little bit of everything for this team. Not going to score a lot. And then number 15, the freshman, Tad Swarns. He is phenomenal at knowing his role. Isn't going to score a lot, but is great catching the ball in the high post and passing out of that. And then the big man, Mason Farr, gets the start. 9 points, 5 rebounds for Farr, and he averages 2+ block shots per game as well for the Eagles, as they are coached by Ronnie Ross. And now, Greg, the starting 5 for the designated home team, which is a 7 seed. You don't get to be the home team a lot this deep in the playoffs. Yeah. Who do the Templars have starting for them tonight?
Manti starting tonight. You have number 1, junior Dylan Anderson. Number 4, junior Larson Progreski. Number 5, junior Kaysen Douglas. Number 23, sophomore Reggie Frischnick. Number 33, junior Christian Hansen, coached by Devin Shakespeare, as they have been the last 8 years. 3 state championships for Devin Shakespeare. 6 overall for the Manti Templars in their long history of basketball.
And I like to joke with Devin, when he comes to a new venue, that's when he wins the state championship.
That's true.
Won it at the first time he was at Richfield, first time he was at Dixie, first time he was at Salt Lake Community College, and now the first time here at the D Event Center on the campus of Weber State University.
That's Tanner Wilkinson making that prediction.
I wouldn't call it a prediction as much as an observation.
Yeah.
So
I'm just giving him a hard time here.
One matchup I'm interested in tonight, Greg. Christian Hansen, the big fella for the Templars. Lengthwise, Mason Farr might be one of the longest and tallest guys he's got to go against. That was something that really bothered the North Sanpete guys in the paint. I don't think they were used to going against a guy with the kind of length Mason Farr has. Now, Christian probably can outmuscle him.
Yeah.
And probably is a little more physical. But Farr's got the long arms, protects the paint very well without fouling, stays very vertical.
You mentioned that he blocks 2 shots a game, and at 6'9", you better block a couple shots a game. You better block a couple of shots per game. But
no.
Yeah, and he's just a junior, if I remember right. Yeah.
Yeah, they have a lot of this group coming back. The seniors are more role players on this team, but their top guys will all be back a year from now. As out front, it is Russell Gibson, 18 points a game for the sophomore. Swarns drives it. Will now kick it back out. Progreski guarding. That's going to be a great matchup tonight, or this morning. Larson Progreski against Russ Gibson.
Speaking of teams that have a lot coming back, the Templars starting 4 juniors and a sophomore.
Right. Yep. I'm familiar with ALA. They were in our region when I was in high school at Manti.
They were in Manti's region last year.
Yeah, that's true. That was true. As the Templars get a stop on their first possession, rebound comes to Larson Progreski. Gets it across that Wildcat timeline. Screen high from Kaysen Douglas. Larson kicks it out to Dylan Anderson. That college three-point line, whether it is or isn't a factor, it mentally definitely is out on the court for these kids. Progreski pulls back out. Again, no shot clock. We have a shot clock here because it's at Weber State as Dylan Anderson misses the 3. Rebound, Reggie Frischnick. Reggie takes it back strong. Tries to go with the left hand. It's no good, and the rebound comes down to Isaac House. Of course, the shot clock not in use. I should point that out.
Yeah, you saw Mason's Farr's help defense come and really affect Reggie's left-hand shot there. Reggie will abuse guys down low. It'll be interesting to see if he's able to abuse somebody with that much more length than he has. They list Reggie at 6'3". So roughly 5 or 6 inches on him, the Farr kid has.
They go pick and roll into Farr. Quick shot. No. Rebound to Kaysen Douglas and is fouled. Good board from Kaysen and a good job to recover by Reggie Frischnick to make that shot a little more difficult for Mason Farr.
Yeah, I think the Templars, you're going to have to crash the boards on the defensive glass with kids that tall, and then Swarms down there.
Yeah,
he was just all over the place against North Sanpete. He's a jumper. He can leap, so you got to box out well and crash those defensive boards if you're the Templars.
Douglas with the basketball. Pulls it over to Dylan Anderson. He gets another look at a 3 on the way. Good. Dylan Anderson has been a revelation for this offense, shooting from 3. That's a Douglas Dentistry three-pointer. Douglas Dentistry with in-house financing. Show off that smile at 283-3800.
Dylan's not going to miss 2 in a row that are that wide open, and they left him wide open on those 2. The first one, you talked a little bit about the college three-point line out there. It gets in your head because the offensive players will come out behind that instead of scooting up the extra foot or 2 to the high school line.
And they do call a foul inside on the Templars. They charge that to Kaysen Douglas. I would have thought maybe Larson Progreski was the one causing the contact there, but the foul does go to Kaysen. And first team foul called on the Templars. Triggering on the baseline, it's Gibson. Going to send it out, and gambling there a little bit was Dylan Anderson. They lob it inside Swarns, takes it up strong, no good, and an offensive rebound from far, that's no good. Rebound to Cason Douglas. Templars do a good job to recover after giving up the offensive rebound.
Dylan Anderson wasn't able to box far out. Big, about a foot height difference there, but he did a good job to keep his ground, so Far couldn't lean in for an easy layup.
Larson Progreski, they leave him alone. He'll take that 18-foot J and knock it down. Larson Progreski makes it 5-0 Templars.
You don't see a lot of tough two-pointers like that from the Templars. Coach Shakespeare doesn't want that. He wants threes and paint touches.
Yep.
But Larson saw he had that open and drilled it.
Templars lead at 5-0. They've been phenomenal on the defensive end. A fake three from Riker Mason. Takes a tough left-handed shot, uses the window, and scores. The toughest shot of the night for either team, and it drops, and ALA's got their first points of the early morning.
ALA makes those funny-looking shots. They did it all night against North Sanpete. Turnover here for the Templars, but yeah, they did that all night with those funny little fadeaway left hand, right hand off the glass.
Awkward
Gibson
shots.
And Mason both had a lot of those.
Yeah, Riker Mason averages 6 a game. He had 14 in that North Sanpete game, including 3 threes, and he's a good three-point shooter at 39%. Just doesn't take a ton of shots per game. A lot of those go to Gibson, but Riker Mason made the most of his opportunity the other night. Ball goes inside. Tough little shot, and the Templars have defended in the paint very well for Mason Farr. Good box out from Hanson. Dylan Anderson gets it across the timeline.
3 missed shots by Farr.
And very aggressive double teaming. And they call a travel on the Templars. Templars wanting a foul. It's going to go back to ALA. ALA's been much more aggressive early in this game, I thought, than maybe they were against North Sanpete. They were aggressive, but the last 2 possessions for Manti, those double teams have come fast and they've come really hard.
Dylan Christensen into the game for the first time for the Templars. He replaces Douglas. Cason with that 1 foul.
Progreski just picks the pocket of Russ Gibson. Larson will do that. Larson gets it across the timeline, handed now by Gibson. And Gibson with kind of a frustration reach and foul from behind. Coach Ross is not going to like that, so it'll be Templar basketball side out of bounds. Second team foul on ALA.
Got a little text from my friend Kenny Kirkham just telling me that we got the score wrong on the board here. It's 5-2 for Manti.
Did I? Oh, I see. Corner 3, good. Dylan Anderson back his second Douglas Dentistry 3 of the game. Templars lead at 8-2.
8-2 for the Templars. Like you say, if you see it on the board, it's wrong here. We'll get that fixed.
ALA basketball. Russ Gibson, Progreski's done a great job on him early. He does not have a shot attempt. For a guy that averages 18 points per game, as they overthrow to Swarns, great job by Reggie Frischnick to front the offensive player, and the turnover goes back to Manti.
Awesome job by Reggie Frischnick just to not give it up front. They try to pass that down low onto the block, and Reggie just does a good job to front that. A little bit too tall, out of bounds, Manti ball.
Progreski lobs inside to Christian Hansen. Hansen takes it up, muscles it up and in for 2. A good move from Christian Hansen, and the Templars take a 10-2 lead.
Just the opposite right there of what happened on the other end of the court. Yep. That entry pass just goes down to Christian Hansen. He seals off his guy, goes up and gets it, and then goes up and puts it in against the trees. Good job by Christian to muscle that in.
It's a timeout brought to you by Security National Mortgage. We'll keep it here. An award-winning top 50 mortgage lender with 25 years of experience you can count on, offering better loan products with more options. Great start for the Templars, Greg. ALA's thrown up a couple curves defensively, but I feel like Devin Shakespeare's adjusted that well on the fly without having to take a timeout. And, boy, defensively, picking up right where they left off against UAB.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. And when you got Dylan Anderson knocking down a couple of open threes, 2 for 3 from the three-point line, 6 points for him. You betcha. Manti looking good. As you mentioned, you took the words out of my mouth, just picking up exactly where they left off against the Wasps last Saturday.
So coming out of the timeout, ALA basketball, they're in kind of the blue and red faded gradient jerseys. They honestly look like Team USA's jerseys from the 2012 Olympics.
I remember
I'm that big of a jersey nut that I'd pick up on that. Only I would pick up on that. But it is ALA basketball trailing 10-3. Templars in at 2-3.
Yeah, you could put the letters USA on those, and it would look just like those. That must have been what inspired those. That's why you were good at running a place that sold jerseys before this before this career here.
In my college days, that is right. Templars swarming on defense as Swarns gets it back up top to Mason, and now ALA will just completely reset. Good amount of students making the trip up from Manti and Ephraim this morning.
Had a couple of teachers tell me they'd give kids credit if you take a picture.
Oh, very. I like
so,
that.
Yeah.
I wish we would have gotten that. Good defense by Frischnick.
As I started to say that, I thought, I hope I'm not getting anybody in trouble. I didn't say who told me that. So, administrators, if you're listening, nobody really said that. I just made that up.
Kasten Larson into the game for the Templars. They'll replace Larson. Progreski is also going to get Keegan Strickland in. Keegan rocking the short sleeve tee under the jersey tonight. So, or this morning rather. Gibson had to look for a second good closeout by Kasten Larson, and ALA again forced to reset. Templars just not giving them any daylight at all early in this first quarter, or late in the first quarter now. Step back three from Gibson. It's strong. Anderson taps it right to Dylan Christensen. Dylan to Dylan, and now the Templars will look to get it across the timeline. Dylan Christensen is hounded, and the ball must have been deflected as Christensen lobs it. It's deflected by Strickland. He kicks it back out to Dylan Anderson now. Templars with a 10-2 lead, 2:21 to go. Christensen, good-looking triple, up strong. Rebound goes down in the corner to Swarns, and ALA gets a big-time stop.
Yeah, good-looking triple was right. It looked good from here, just a little bit too hard by Dylan there.
Gibson, tough shot again. Russ Gibson's kind of forced the last two shots, and neither of them fall. So he and Farr both held scoreless. They're two leading scorers here early. And really, as a whole, only 2 total points on a tough make. Christensen, free throw line jump shot, in and out. Rebound to Christian Hansen. He muscles that back up. No good. Rebound comes down to Swarns, and he gets it out ahead to Gibson.
Both of those shots did everything but fall.
In the corner, it's Riker Mason with the basketball. Mason puts it on the floor, guarded by Dylan Anderson. Gets into the paint, kicks it back out. A couple of subs as well for ALA. They've got Zach Webster, another senior role player, in the ball game. Gibson comes off the pick from Swarns. He's guarded now on a mismatch with Strickland. They give it Anderson out on Mason. Now in the corner, they go down into Swarns. Posting on inside. Swarns not the best offensive option. Only takes a few shots per game. Misses both shots inside after the offensive rebound, and Riker Mason misses the floater. Kasten Larson the rebound for the Templars.
Yeah, Dylan Christensen took the worst of that. He comes up wiping his head. Turnover the other way.
Gibson the steal, Euro step. That's where Gibson can hurt you, is in transition as he hurt North Sanpete, and the lead trimmed to 6. It's 10-4. Manti still in control. Under a minute to play. Opening quarter. Anderson gets it across the timeline, and they call a blocking foul. It'll be the third team foul now on ALA. Templars with just one team foul and a couple subs for both teams here at the whistle.
Yeah, that ALA perimeter defense extremely aggressive. That's the first time they've called that foul out there. But Dylan Anderson just forcing the issue down the sideline. And you get a couple starters back in, Reggie and Larson back in. You'll see Case and Douglas probably stay out the rest of this quarter here with that one foul. Just try to protect him.
Progreski with the basketball, looks to cross, now pulls back out, guarded by Isaac House. Reggie Frischnick catches at the three-point line, trying to get it inside to Kasten Larson, and just Reggie got caught in the air. Another turnover, and Russell Gibson likes the turnovers. A reach-in foul. We'll see who they call this one on. Both Progreski and Larson were there. I think they're going to get Kasten for this one, and they do call him for his first personal second-team foul. It is a good foul.
Yeah, because ALA does a good job in transition like that. Russell Gibson is a finisher at the rim, as you saw in that last possession. So a good foul by Kasten Larson, knowing that, you can waste – Kasten Larson can waste a foul. He's not going to foul out of the game. You know what I mean? So get that in transition and make him work for this shot.
If Kasten fouls out, I'll take him to dinner anywhere he wants.
He's gonna hold you to that.
Just today, because he's going to know about it after this game. I don't want him to foul out should they win in advance.
Okay.
So, Gibson with the basketball, 25 seconds left on the clock. Templar defense has only allowed 4 points in this opening quarter from ALA. On the flip side, Manti's only scored 10. And, Christian Hansen with the chase down block inside on Matthew Casperson. Terrific play from number 33.
Christian had 3 blocks against Juab last week, and Juab has some good length and some good post players. And Christian, 3 blocks in that game last week.
And Dylan Christensen with a quick sub back in. He'll replace Kasten Larson. Don't want Kasten to pick up perhaps a second foul here with 15 seconds left.
Coach Shakespeare's trying to protect your wallet, so you don't have to buy Kasten a dinner.
I'll have to thank him for that later. Mason Farr returns, replacing Zane Thornton. Zane is actually their leading rebounder, and he comes off the bench, averages 6 a game. They go into Farr. Tough shot is off. Rebound, Dylan Anderson. Boy, for how small Dylan is, he is such a good rebounder.
Yep.
Christensen in the corner, Progreski. Larson sets, fires, strong on the 3. Reggie Frischnick, another offensive board, takes it up strong, block, and they called a foul late.
Good.
He clearly was fouled. The call does come a little late, but Reggie will now go to the free throw line to shoot 2 for the Templars, and he shoots it at a 70% clip.
Yeah, the call was late, and that's why you heard a little bit of an explanation from me there, but it's a good call. Take it. Reggie doing a good job to take it right at the body of the bigger man, and Farr just kind of came down across his elbow. Reggie, good free throw shooter, over 70%, as you mentioned, for the sophomore.
1.5 to go in the opening quarter. Templars lead at 11-4. Go Insurance sponsoring our free throw line tonight. They serve all of Central Utah. Call Go Insurance at 462-3333. They certainly got their money's worth in ALA and North Sanpete. A lot of free throws shot in that game. Another free throw here coming for Reggie Frischnick. It's up and down. 2 for 2. Templars start the game 2 for 2 at the line. 12-4 as Isaac House just heaves this thing up and hits the side of the backboard. Got a lot further than maybe I thought that ball was going to go. That ends the opening quarter. Our CO Building scoreboard. Templars 12, Eagles 4. We'll be back with second quarter action on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, Centricom Channel 10, MTCC Channel 3, and ETV.
Shakespeare.
Visit your Park and Pump Sanpete Valley Conoco in Moroni, where you'll find courteous service at the convenience store and the famous Sanpete Barbecue Turkey Sandwiches. Sanpete Valley Conoco features quality Conoco fuel and a menu that has something for everyone. Burgers, fish and chips, tacos, sandwiches, pizza, irresistible treats, and yummy Yo Cream. Yogurt, only creamier. That's Park and Pump Sanpete Valley Conoco at the junction of the highways in Moroni.
At Intermountain Sanpete Valley Hospital, we know that life may be different right now. We are ensuring your confidence and safety with things like temperature checks and constant disinfecting of patient areas. We are doing everything possible for COVID-19. But there is essential care beyond the virus. Broken arms haven't stopped. Heart and stroke emergencies continue to happen. Babies continue to be born. So please don't put off the care you need, especially for stroke-like symptoms or other urgent care needs. We're here for you. Intermountain Sanpete Valley Hospital.
You're listening to live high school sports action on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, Centricom Channel 10 and MTCC Channel 3.
Scoreboard, Templars 12, Eagles 4. Manti leads ALA. It's a CO Building scoreboard update. Roof and wall panels and all the trimming at the best prices anywhere. That CO Building system. Defense for the Templars, Greg, was phenomenal in that opening quarter.
You can hold a team to 4 points in a quarter? Heck yeah, you'll take that.
Cross-court pass to Dylan Anderson. Well read by Gibson. It'll stay Templar basketball after the deflection. Give ALA a little bit of credit defensively. I mean, Manti on the season averages 61 points a game. You held him to 12. You'll gladly take that based on averages. Douglas with a quick trigger three. It's short. Ball tapped back out. The rebound comes down inside to Zach Webster. That was, Casperson. He and Webster have a very similar build.
Well, and the Gibson kid, too. They all kind of have that floppy hair.
Me and Cole and Brad talking on the way up to this game. Yeah, it's clones out there, just different heights and different sizes, essentially, for ALA. Gibson with the basketball, hounded by Progreski. No points for Russ did have the steal and the lay-in. Is Frischnick the steal. Outlets to Douglas. Kaysen bobbles it. Gives it to Hansen. Christian runs the paint beautifully and lays it up and in for two. Assist to Douglas. Inside Christian Hansen. Templars with a game-high 10-point lead.
Boy, oh boy, that is right there. That is textbook defense, textbook fast break offense. Kaysen Douglas gives it off to his teammate when he maybe could have taken it himself. Yeah. Christian Hansen takes it strong. I've been so impressed with Christian and how strong he's taken it to the hoop this season. Yeah. Just showed it right there. Showed it a couple of times today.
At the beginning of region play, he was at 7 points per game. Yep. He's now up to 9.
Yep.
So he is really...
And that's only an 8-game region schedule. Yep.
Right.
That shows you what he's done here later in the year. Yep.
Gibson on the right side. They go into Farr. Farr turns, and they call the foul. That might have been on Dylan Anderson getting him low. We'll see who they call this on, if it's Hansen or they do call it on Dylan Anderson. I thought Hansen did have the clean block. Does come in at the last second. Anderson got him low, so it'll be free throws for Mason Farr, who shoots it at 65%. Not terrible for a big fella.
Yeah.
He did hit a couple mid-range shots against North Sanpete. Kept the Hawk defense honest by taking those shots, and he connects on the first Go Insurance free throw there.
So Manti will switch on a lot of screens, even off the ball. Even if you have Dylan Anderson taking on a kid that's, a good 10 inches taller than him out there in Mason Farr. They list him at 6'9", and I would say Dylan's probably about 5'9", 5'10", somewhere in there. So, and Dylan's done a good job so far. Mason hasn't hit any shots. Dylan boxed him out well earlier. Now he knocks down a couple of free throws. Good free throw shooter. But
a very aggressive press leading the Templars in transition. Anderson thought about the three, gets stumbled, and now back out to Larson Pogreski. Templars can set up the offense. Larson has it deflected. Long arms of Mason Farr. Swarns comes up with the steal. Opportunity in transition. Gibson will take that three, in and out. Rebound to Cason Douglas. Oh, he had it, and then Swarns picks it up. Can't finish. Ball is batted back out, and a new possession for Thornton and the ALA Eagles.
That right there is what I talked about earlier. Manti's got to crash those defensive boards. You had a couple of guys streaking down trying to get a kind of a cheap layup the other side, and if you would have had 5 Manti players down there, they probably would have ended up with that one.
Swarns goes into Farr. Farr lobs into Swarns again, and foul they're going to call on Larson. Larson can't believe it, and he might have just made enough contact, whether it was incidental or not. Let's see on our replay.
Watching that replay. Yeah, he got him on that left arm. Got him on that left elbow there.
Swarns, a good free throw shooter. Hasn't taken a ton on the season, but is at 73%. As a team, these guys do shoot 67% at the free throw line.
Oh, yeah, you'll take that if you're a high school coach, absolutely. Anywhere around 70.
Yeah. First one's good from Swarns, and that cuts the lead down to 7. Templars leading at 14-7 over American Leadership. Out of Spanish Fork. Templars, of course, hailing from Manti. Free throw up from Swarns is good. And a lot of their important guys shoot good from the free throw line. The guys that take a lot are the ones that shoot well. Anderson in the press, lobs for Pogreski. Larson goes up and gets it. And fortunate there, because of the gamble, was able to break the press. Larson gets in the paint. They call a foul from behind. I think that might be 2 on Russ Gibson.
So they call it right there. And as Larson's coming down the court, the same thing happened. The previous time down the court, Dylan Anderson tried to drive, and he gets bumped down on the legs, and they don't call it, and now they call it right now. So you got to be you got to be consistent. And I was just going to say, if they wouldn't have called that on Larson, I was just going to say, if they're not going to call that, Manti's going to really do some damage on the perimeter the other side.
Shot blocked, and then Hansen, unfortunately, that goes off of Dylan Anderson's face, so it'll go to ALA. Eagles getting a little bit of momentum here. You know, they struggled to score, Greg, in that first quarter, but they were good enough defensively to keep this thing somewhat close, and now they've got an opportunity to get this thing down to 4, maybe 3 points here. Gibson trots across the timeline. He's been relatively quiet here early. Last 4 ALA points have come at the free throw line. Webster gets it over in the corner to Gibson, guarded out by Frischnick. Templars in a 2-3. Farr catches at the free throw line into Thornton. Great ball movement. Another miss at the rim. They've missed a ton of those shots at the rim, but the offensive rebound comes out to ALA. Gibson for 3. Russ Gibson, 18 points a game from the sophomore. Only shoots it at a 26% rate from the three-point line, but he takes a lot of them, and you see why there as the Templars break the press. Hansen holds, gets it to Cason Douglas. 14-11 our score. Templars were up 14-4. It's a 7-0 run. Pogreski for 3. It's short. Rebound to Reggie Frischnick. His 3rd offensive board of the game. Kicks it back out. Cason Douglas for 3. That's good. A Douglas dentistry 3 from Cason Douglas. Templars break the 7-0 run. They're up 17-11 with 4:31 to play in the second. ALA basketball. Webster looks to get the play call out. Gives it over to Gibson on the left side. Everything runs through Russ Gibson. 18 points, 4 assists per game for the sophomore.
That 1-2-2 extended defense for the Templars. Cason Douglas at the point.
They lob it into Webster, and he finishes. Tough pass inside. Coach Shakespeare wanting a push-off, or Zane Thornton rather, than Webster. And pick the pocket, leads to an open layup timeout. Russ Gibson lays it in, cuts the lead down to 2, 17-15. Templars still up 2. It's a Security National Mortgage timeout on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network. Centralcom Channel 10 and MTCC Channel 3 with ETV.
Skyline Motorsports is proud to support North San Pete High School sports. So remember, if you're in the market for a new side-by-side or ATV, you need to get into Skyline Motorsports. They have the latest Kimco has to offer. Skyline Motorsports also carries all the latest riding gear and accessories for your outdoor needs. And they have the best service department in the county. So drop on into Skyline Motorsports today and go Hawks.
Templars with a 17-15 lead. They were up 14-4. It's an 11-3 run for ALA. Eagles playing a little looser than they were, Greg, in that opening quarter. Playing a lot like they did at North San Pete and at Richfield.
Yeah, and second chance points. Manti's got to crash those defensive boards. And then Gibson and Webster down there knocking the ball away, getting a steal. and then giving it to his teammate for an easy layup.
They thrived off of turnovers against North Sanpete. A rush shot from Anderson. Rebound Frischnick, and Reggie with a big muscle stick back for two. Reggie Frischnick. Templars back up 4, 19-15, 3:45 to go in the half.
4 points for Reggie. If he gets it that low, he's not stopped very often this year.
Into the game for the first time is number 23. I don't know that we have a 23 on our roster here.
I don't have it. So, coaches, if you want your kids to be celebrated, put them on the roster.
Templars give up another offensive rebound, and we're going to get a jump ball. Possession arrow will stay with ALA. Yeah, if we don't have the number, it's on the coach.
Yep.
So
we do our best. We do a lot of research beforehand to get prepared for these games, but if you don't put a kid on a roster, he's going to be called by his number, not his name.
Kason Larson checks into the game for the Templars. Gibson to trigger on the baseline.
And Templars, again, give up second chance. I mean, they do a good job to get the hand in there and get the jump ball, but they've got to get those defensive rebounds. You can't give ALA a bunch of extra opportunities at the hoop.
Gibson guarded by Douglas out front. The handoff goes to Isaac House. Crossover out front from Gibson. Now gives it to Zane Thornton. Zane nearly bobbled it. Now back to House. Trying to get the smaller Dylan Anderson on Thornton. Thornton to the bump, turns, hooks. Great defense from Dylan Anderson, and Christian Hansen, the rebound. Gets it to Kason Larson and the Templars.
Got to hand it to Dylan Anderson there. Bigger man on him again. Good position defense.
Douglas shakes the defender, gets into the paint, draws a foul, and Kason Douglas will go to the Go Insurance free throw line. Go Insurance, they serve all of Central Utah. Call agents Dan, Greg, or Galen at 462-3333 for auto, home, commercial, life, health, Medicare, and any policy you can really think of there.
Yep, they do it all. Do a great job down there. Kason Douglas, I don't know that he really ever thought that shot was going to fall. Well, I think Kason Douglas thinks every shot's going to fall that he shoots, but he just wanted to draw the foul, and he got his man up in the air, threw it up with his left hand, gets to the free throw line. Not able to knock down the first one, but one more here.
And his free throw percentage has gone up as the season's gone down. He was about 60% around Christmas time and is now up to 66%. Splits a pair there, and the Templars lead at 20-15, 2:46 to go. That's our CO Building System scoreboard. Coming up, we'll have our Jones & Mill Engineering halftime show. Get your stats. I'm interested to see how Brad gets us his stats. I'm really interested.
He's clear across. You can see him right now in the camera. He is clear across from us.
Just look for the fedora.
That's right.
House with the basketball over the right side. Pick and roll with Farr. Farr spins. Hansen gambled a little bit on that, and it leads to the bucket. 3-point game again. Mason Farr scores inside, and it's 20-17. Templars with a 3-point lead.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that gamble by Christian Hansen. That was just outside his fingertips.
Lob inside. Oh, beautifully done. Oh, Progreski inside to Strickland. Keegan just had that sit on the rim forever. It rolls out. ALA with a chance to tie or cut it to one. Drive by House. No one picks him up, and he scoops it up and in with the right hand on the left side. Cuts the lead down to one, 20-19. Templars are up 14-4. It's a 15-6 run for ALA. Douglas in the corner. Strickland thought about the three. Will pull back out to Kason Douglas. Man, ALA just defends so hard. Lob into Strickland. Catches underneath. They're going to call it travel. And he threw it out of bounds either way here. Right into the bar.
Yeah,
my goodness.
I thought Kason, I really thought Kason could have went up with that. I know he had the big man there, but maybe jump into Farr while you try and lay that up and draw a foul if you don't get it. But decided to try and go outside for that open look at three, but it's a turnover for the Templars.
Chance for ALA to have their first lead of the game. House with the basketball. Minute 33 to go in this opening half. It was 28-28 in Mount Pleasant on Saturday at the half. Double team comes quickly on Gibson, and he throws it away. Templars quick double worked as Frischnick gets the steal. Now gets it to Kason Larson. Kason will get it up ahead. Larson Progreski now with the basketball. Pulls it back out for the Templars. Minute 15 to go in the second period. Larson drives, kicks to Larson. Kason for three. He got it. Kason Larson with a Douglas Dentistry three-pointer. Douglas Dentistry at Ephraim, your first choice in dentistry. And the Templars back up four. Timely shot there from Kason off the bench.
Kason Larson does a great job this whole year of just catching and shooting quick. Quick release out there. Doesn't even have to get his feet set before he puts that one up.
He shoots 50% from three.
Yeah, it doesn't take a ton.
Right.
But you're right, yep.
They're usually only good shots as Farr misses inside, and now Frischnick gets the jump ball. Possession to the Templars. Great job from Reggie there. Again, you don't like giving up an offensive board, but at least on that play, you're both fighting for the ball as it's coming off the rim Templars regain possession with 44 seconds left here in quarter number 2.
Sophomore Reggie Frischnick using those muscles, man. The kid's a strong kid, especially for just a sophomore.
Templars break the press rather easily. Frischnick catches free throw line, kicks it back out to Douglas. Kaysen Douglas for 3. It's short, long rebound comes down. Larson Progreski corrals it. One bonus of shooting threes, sometimes you get those funky bounces and second chance opportunities. 25 seconds left.
I was going to say, if I'm the Templars, I'm working for the last shot, but they rushed that one. Reggie Frischnick with the offensive board.
They don't call the foul inside.
Fouled?
Out of bounds, last touch by Swarns. I don't understand how that's not called. And checking into the game is Dylan Anderson here with 17 seconds left.
Replay.
That's pretty bad.
He gets raked across the back of his head and his back. Goodness gracious.
Kayston Larson subs out to a nice round of applause with 17 ticks left. ALA does have the 60. And they changed the call.
Oh, that's not right. That's not right.
That was really late to come in and change the call.
Wow, that's a garbage call.
Wow.
Garbage call on no foul and then garbage call out of bounds. Wow.
Gibson across the timeline, 12 seconds left. Templars have 2 fouls to give here, keep in mind, as House gets in the paint, dumps it to Farr, who lays it up. No, tipped by Casperson's no good, and Frischnick just throws it up, and that will end the quarter as Douglas is streaking down the lane. So that's the end of the half. Manti 23, ALA 19. A controversial end of the first half. We'll break it down on the Jones and DeMille Engineering halftime show coming up next.
Wouldn't it be nice to consolidate your bills into one low payment a month? Or cover the college tuition expense that's coming up? Or perhaps buy a new car? All without disturbing your investments? You can with a home equity loan. We'll show you how. We're an equal housing lender. Utah Heritage Credit Union. Together we grow. Federally insured by NCUA. Online at utahheritagecu.org.
Hi, I'm Mark Anderson, CTE Director for JUAB, North Sanpete, and South Sanpete School Districts. Do you know what CTE pathways are offered at your high school? Career and Technical Education provides career, exploration, and guidance through 35 CTE career pathways. Did you know that students can find a career base on their interest and then build their academic courses around it? These pathways lead to industry-recognized credential of value, giving students a step up in their chosen careers. To learn more about these career pathways, talk to your CTE teachers and school counselors.
The Intermountain Power Service Corporation is committed to supporting our local schools, communities, and the economies of central and south central Utah. Each year, IPSC's 2 950-megawatt generating units provide 3 million megawatt-hours of energy for communities in Utah and Southern California. The Intermountain Power Project ranks among the best of coal-based power plants in reliability, cost-effectiveness, and environmental responsibility. IPSC, honored to sponsor this sports broadcast.
I'm a mom raising 4 kids, so I know what you're dealing with. Distractions during homework time, faces buried in devices at dinner, not to mention the tug of war to pry devices away from my kids when it's time to go to bed. So I looked everywhere to find a system that could help me with everything I need. A system I can trust. And I found it. It's called CentraGuard by Centracom. You can get started with taking back the internet by visiting Centracom.com right now. CentraGuard. Better family internet.
Gunnison Valley Hospital is excited to celebrate our 90th year of caring. With 4 state-of-the-art surgery rooms, a full-service laboratory, 3 private labor and delivery suites, visiting specialists, and telemedicine partners, we are able to offer most major healthcare services right here in Gunnison. It is because of our outstanding team of physicians, nurses, employees, and volunteers that we are able to provide award-winning care to our patients every day. Trusted relationships, cutting-edge technology, and hometown hospitality. That's Gunnison Valley Hospital.
Sanpete Steel in Moroni was founded in 1994 and is one of the major steel construction companies in the Intermountain West, specializing in structural steel fabrication and erection. Sanpete Steel's impressive portfolio includes the Hale Theater in Sandy and structures on the campuses of the University of Utah, BYU, and UVU. Sanpete Steel in Moroni, where their motto is done right and on time, at 685 East Main in Moroni. Call 800-261-1026, 800-261-1026, or sanpetesteel.com.
You're listening to live high school sports action on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, Centracom Channel 10 and MTCC Channel 3.
Brought to you by Jones and DeMille Engineering. They applaud teams for hard work, dedication, and commitment. The race for excellence has no finish line. A Barclay Mechanical score update, a stunner in 2A. Kanab over Millard 27-16. I wondered about that because Millard played in a relatively easy region compared to that region down there with Kanab. 11-point lead for the Cowboys. And I thought Kanab had a very up-and-down season. Greg, I thought their talent, watching them at the preview, you figure, this is a team that could go on a run, and sure enough, they're the 10th seed.
Beat San Juan, if I remember right.
They did by 20 right before the tournament, so they're peaking at the right time.
Yeah.
Speaking of peaking at the right time, ALA just refuses to go away. I mentioned UMBC and Oral Roberts and Florida Gulf Coast and all the great underdogs of the past NCAA tournaments, and that's a common theme. They just don't go away. Only down 4 after scoring 4 points in the opening quarter. They outscore Manti 15-11 in that second quarter. What did you specifically see, Greg, that maybe bothered the Templars a little bit there in quarter number 2?
Yeah, a lot of on-ball pressure, a lot of turnovers by the Templars. As we mentioned, you and I just chit-chatting before we came back from break. 8 turnovers by the Templars. Thanks to Brad James for these stats here.
Yeah.
8 turnovers by the Templars to 5 assists. Templars like that flip-flopped. They want to be 2-to-1, 1.5-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio. And right now, like I say, 8 turnovers. Giving up 7 offensive boards to the Eagles as well. That hurts.
Yeah, definitely a tough thing there. Dustin Shakespeare's not with us for this weekend, but we know the 2 things he'll always look at: rebounds and turnovers. Overall numbers, 7-point. Russ Gibson got going late, hit a 3, had a couple transition opportunities. That's where he thrives, is in that transition. Does have the 2 steals to go along with 7 points. No assists for Russ, though, and he is their leading assist man on the year. 2 points for Isaac House, 2 points, 5 boards for Tad Swarns. I thought he was really good for that, and this is how he's been all year. He's not a scorer, but he does all the little things for you. A great rebounder for this team, and has 5 total rebounds so far in that first half. 4 points for Mason Farr. They did a great job on him low in the paint, I thought. Had some great looks. Templars bothered him enough to not to be able to finish, and then 2 points off the bench from Riker Mason, who normally starts games, and then Zane Thornton also had a basket inside.
So I talked about negative for Manti there with the turnovers. The positive, 4 of 10 from the 3-point line. Manti's going to win a lot of games if they go 40% from behind the arc. Kind of the negative. The other side, they only went 4 of 12 from inside the arc. So 33% inside the arc, 40% outside the arc, 75%, 3 of 4 from the free throw line. Reggie Frischnick there in that first half. 5 offensive rebounds, 6 overall to go along with his 4 points. So 5 offensive boards for the sophomore Frischnick. Just killing it down there.
Yeah, being very Reggie-like.
Yeah,
put
absolutely.
it that way. If you've seen the kid play, this shouldn't surprise you at all. So, overall scores for the Templars: Dylan Anderson, 3 points, 3 boards for Dylan as well. I noticed that in the Juab game. Juab's got a couple bigger fellas. Dylan's not afraid to mix it up with some of the bigger guys. For being the smallest guy on the floor, he is not afraid to go in and get those rebounds. 5 points for Larson Progreski, 4 points for Kaysen Douglas, 4 points, 6 boards, of course, for Reggie Frischnick, as you mentioned, the 5 offensive boards. 4 for Christian Hansen to go along with 3 rebounds, and a 3 off the bench from Kayston Larson. So good balance from the Templars, and that's something you like to see. But you also maybe want to see one of these kids come out maybe with that killer instinct in the second half.
Yeah, we'll see if that happens here. You see if a Kaysen Douglas or a Reggie or Christian, maybe Larson Progreski. Larson Progreski's really, he's averaged double figures this year, but he also averages 5 assists.
Right.
Just an excellent distributor. We'll see if he's able to, he has, he's have?
2
assists in the first half. So we'll see if he's able to get some things going down low to Reggie and Christian, get some of those interior passes down to the block that he's done all year.
As mentioned, Templars 4 of 10 from the Douglas Dentistry 3-point line. Our CO Buildings System scoreboard: Manti 23, ALA 19. We'll be back with second half coverage next on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, Centricom Channel 10, MTCC Channel 3, and ETV.
For a wonderful shopping experience with quality and customer service that's second to none, visit Gunnison Market. The meat department carries the highest quality of meat in the United States, certified Angus beef, while the deli offers delicious made-from-scratch crab salad, coleslaw, and high-quality Columbus meats with no preservatives. The bakery features custom cakes for any occasion, cookies, rolls, and tasty donuts made fresh daily. For good old-fashioned friendly service, come see the difference at Gunnison Market in Gunnison.
Bugs, spiders, I don't mind them. That is until they cross the threshold into my house. Then it's war. Stop the fighting in your house and get year-round protection with EcoLife. EcoLife is offering their Pest Shield package at just $29.99 per month with guaranteed results. You'll get unlimited service calls, an outdoor pest shield, cobweb cleanup, and winter pest treatment, all with a product that is child and pet safe. So call EcoLife today to protect your home with Pest Shield. That's 283-6002 or go to ecolifeusa.com.
CO Building Systems in Ephraim manufactures a complete line of pre-engineered metal buildings of all sizes. Plus, they are your headquarters for custom metal roof and wall panels for your home or business, including all trim and accessories. All of their roof and wall panels are available in several gauges and over 20 different colors. For a free cost estimate or more information, contact CO Building Systems in Ephraim. 800-262-5347. That's 800-262-5347. Online at cobuildings.com.
Clean Cut Roofing and Siding.
Have you seen my turtle?
How would I know where your turtle is?
You always say you have something for everyone.
Since 2003, you get peace of mind every time with Clean Cut Roofing and Siding. Call 435-462-2160.
The living room. It's a great place to watch TV. Just like your backyard, break time at the office, or while on the go. Now you can watch TV everywhere. Call or visit Centricom.com to learn more.
You're listening to live high school sports action on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, Centricom Channel 10 and MTCC Channel 3.
Welcome back. Our halftime show wraps up. Halftime brought to you by the folks at Jones & DeMille Engineering, supporting local programs and academic and athletic achievements, building relationships, and working passionately. It's a winning combination. Templars 23, Eagles 19 as our second half about to get started here. Some second half keys, Greg, for the Templars after struggling a little bit there in the second quarter.
Defensive rebounding, sorry to harp on it, but you got a team that has more size than you. You've got to box out. You got to have, and I don't know Coach Shakespeare's exact philosophy. I know a lot of his philosophies just from watching. I don't know if his philosophy is 5 guys crash the board. If it's, somebody sneak out and try to look for an outlet pass, I don't know. But you can't give up offensive boards like they did there in the first half with 7 for the Templars on the other side. Keep getting offensive rebounds. Yeah. Do exactly what I'm telling them not to give up on the other end. But they had 8 offensive boards. Reggie Frischnick with 5. If Reggie gets those, if Christian Hansen, if Keegan Strickland, those big guys down low, if they get them, go up quick on the far kid. Make him reach down and foul you like Reggie did one time there in the first half. And shoot. If you keep shooting 4 for 10, 40% from the 3-point line, keep feeding Dylan Anderson in the corner and let him hit some threes.
Yeah. So earlier scores here at the tournament. Winner of this game will get Grantsville as the Cowboys only scored 2 points. Is that right, Greg, in the third quarter?
2 points in the third.
Survive and win 35-34. We've almost got that. We'll probably, I would guess, based on the pace, have that score of that at the end of the third quarter, somewhere near that in this one.
Yeah, Ben Lomond had good defense there on Grantsville. They were just defensive ball hawks. It caused about 25 or so turnovers, but Grantsville was able to come away with it. You got the whole entire Manti band here.
That's
it's
right.
Kind of cool to see that here to our left.
ALA basketball, Eagles trailing by 4 as they possess to start the second half. And should point out that Riker Mason does start the second half. Baseline shot for 2 is strong. Ball tipped by Frischnick. And should also point out that Farr is on the bench. They start Thornton instead of Farr.
That's interesting.
Good pass inside a travel, unfortunately. I don't think Christian was quite ready for that pass from Progreski.
Yeah.
It'll go back to ALA.
Yeah, Christian had a good idea there to kick it out to the open man for 3, but just either's got to put it on the ground or catch it and come to that jump stop. But like you say, not really Christian's fault. He caught it. Wasn't ready for that pass at all. But
ALA gets it back, 23-19 Templars with a 4-point lead. I want to thank CO Building Systems for being our scoreboard provider tonight on the sponsorship as Gibson goes inside. Tough floater. Boy, that's just a tough shot. When you score 18 points a game, you got a few tricks in your bag, and Russ Gibson connects on one there, 23-21.
Reggie Frischnick, as good as he is at post offense, he's an excellent perimeter defender as well, and that time Russ Gibson just better offense.
And inside, Hansen hesitates. He was going up much stronger in the first half. Misses the shot there. ALA gets it back. Chance to tie or take the lead. The Eagles did not lead in that first half. Closest they got it back down to was 1 after we were tied at 0-0. Gibson will reset. Gets it over on the right side. Riker Mason. Mason pulls back out. They put Tyrell Robertson in the game. He did not play in the first half. He does average 5 points a game and is a senior. So a bit of a lineup change here for ALA as Webster's also in the game. And inside for two, Tyrell Robertson, who did not play on Saturday against North Sanpete, ties us up at 23.
Yeah, one of their best post looks of the day for the Eagles right there.
Progreski gets it to Dylan Anderson. Dylan will ball fake and looking for the foul. And Devin saying, if you're going to call it again on the other side, you might as well down here. Inside Hansen. Christian takes it up. No good. And Nutt. Hesitation from the Templars killing them right now. Chance for Gibson and the Eagles to take the lead. Gibson behind the back dribble. Gets it over in the corner. 3. Riker Mason strong. Long rebound fought for by Robertson. And it will be out of bounds. They're going to discuss this. They called a foul on Christian Hansen. Oh, my goodness. Coach Shakespeare does not like that. And now Mason Farr does come back into the game, replacing Zane Thornton.
Yeah, I didn't know if we were going to see a replay there. I kind of wanted to see what they called that on Christian when it went out of bounds, because it looked like it went out of bounds off of ALA, but they...
Templars get the steal off the inbound. Kaysen Douglas leads the break. Coast to coast and lays it up and in for two. Kaysen Douglas breaks the tie at 23. Templars lead it 25-23, 5:56 to go. They go down into Farr, back to Gibson. Templars a little bit lackadaisical, but then the block shot from Dylan Anderson. But it leads to a Gibson triple and is good. And the ALA Eagles lead for the first time in this game, 26-25 after the Douglas Dentistry three-pointer from Russ Gibson.
What a great perimeter closeout by Dylan Anderson to block that shot.
Kaysen Douglas getting in the zone. He answers with a Douglas Dentistry 3. Templars up 28-26.
But what I was going to say is good job by ALA to recover and knock down the 3, but Kaysen Douglas answers.
Templars back up 2. Inside, Robertson. Hansen fronts and dribbled by Farr. Great defense from Christian Hansen just to knock him off his rhythm enough. Templars get the ball back.
Yeah, Kaysen Douglas leading the way for the Templars with 9 points. He leads the way in scoring this year. 13 points, 5 boards, 4 assists. Really kind of does it all and can be deadly from outside if you leave him open.
Such a quick trigger, too.
There's a reason his dad sponsors the three-point line for the Templars.
And I watched him hitting threes as a kid when he was 5.
Yeah, he's sponsored it for a lot longer than his kid's been playing. But
Kaysen misses the 3 there. Christian Hansen offensive board. Give inside. Douglas, great up and under move. And Kaysen Douglas with the last 7 points for the Templars. They lead it by 4, 30-26.
Kaysen not in a hurry that time. Uses that left hand. Excellent little assist by the big man, Christian Hansen.
Robertson, 16-foot J short. Templars don't have position, but Larson Progreski strips it on the rebound. Templars have numbers in transition. Give. Douglas turns, shoots, can't finish. Hansen the offensive board. Progreski, big 3, knocks it down. Larson Progreski with a Douglas Dentistry three-pointer. Timeout ALA. Templars lead it 33-26. 4:33 to go. It's a Security National Mortgage timeout on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, Centricom Channel 10, MTCC Channel 3, and ETV.
When you need title work, title insurance, and escrow service, remember the experts at Central Utah Title in Manti. Whether you need residential, commercial closing, mortgage refinance, FHA, VA, or conventional loans, mortgage assumption, and cash transactions, consider Central Utah Title. Serving South Central Utah since 1983. 140 North Main Street in Manti for security and peace of mind in all your transactions.
You're listening to live high school sports action on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, Centricom Channel 10 and MTCC Channel 3.
And Tanner Wilkinson and Greg Sterner with you. Templars lead at 33-26. Templars on an 8-0 run, Greg, after they gave up their first ALA, the first lead of the night. It's been all Manti.
We were a little bit critical of Christian Hansen on a couple of takes that he had down there. These last couple of buckets were completely because of him. He didn't make the shot, but he either got an offensive board or a nice little assist. So Christian doing a good job. And on the defensive end, he got the turnover down there.
House in the corner, and they called the foul.
I think he might have got him on the head. I want to watch this replay here because Dylan might have got another block here.
Ran into him,
got him on the head. But Dylan Anderson, in a couple of games ago, I said I think he got his first block shot of the year, and he got another one here.
Almost had a second one there. Yep. Do have another Barclay Mechanical score update. Kanab leads Miller at 46-35. 11-point lead for the Cowboys over the number 2 seed. It's not going to be a 2 seed right now, Greg. I'm going to remember that when March rolls around for when I'm filling my bracket out. But
and the coaches are discussing something. Devin's ignoring the other coach, but the ALA coach is saying something to Devin or to the the sideline here. I don't know what's going on, but the first free throw good there.
Isaac House, 69% at the line, misses the second.
I gave it
3 shots.
I gave it to Gibson. I thought it was Gibson.
Well,
down
they
there.
look
the numbers, the hair.
They look exactly alike.
Yeah, House has 3 points. One more here.
House, Gibson, and Riker Mason. The only reason I can differentiate Mason, he wears the long sleeves.
Okay.
That's it. Otherwise, they...
Tanner, the consummate professional here.
Pogreski looks to split the double, gets it to Casey Douglas. That press has bothered Manti in certain points tonight. 28-33 our score. Pogreski looks to cross over with it. Larson behind the back. Douglas, 3, short. Had it blocked. Farr's got it out to House. 5-point lead for the Templars, and Gibson will pull it back out for ALA. Riker Mason, the lefty. Gibson thought about the 3. Good closeout by Dylan Anderson. They go down on the block. It's tipped. Christian Hansen again getting his hand in there. Anderson leads it out to Douglas, and Kaysen tried to cross over a little early, and House takes it away. Riker Mason now out in transition. Stops, will take the 3, and the bank is not open this early, but Farr the offensive board. That's no good. Rebounded inside by Kasperson, and then Pogreski takes it away. Helter-skelter here at the D Event Center, and Larson will draw a foul and go to the line to shoot 2. Russ Gibson saying his hands were up. No, buddy, you took him to the ground. It's going to be free throws for Larson at the Go Insurance free throw line.
Easiest call of the night. Larson Pogreski did a great job to force that contact, too. Took it right at the body of the defender. Good job by Larson to get to the free throw line.
Pogreski, one of the best, in fact, the best free throw shooter the Templars have at 72% on the season. And, waiting for Dylan Anderson to tie shoe. I'm wondering what the holdup was there for a second. That would be the case.
Larson was breathing a little bit heavy. Dylan noticed it and knelt down to retie his shoe.
A little psychological thing there as Larson connects on the first.
I don't know if that's right. I think Larson's in pretty good shape. He doesn't need that extra break.
I always joke that Larson's my favorite Pogreski because he's the only BYU fan in the family.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I hope that's still true because he took a beating for 12 years, most of his life, and he finally got to be the one to dish out a little bit this fall.
Hopefully he's stuck with it because I know his mom and dad are big BYU or big Utah fans.
All the brothers as well and sisters. Rebound off the miss. Anderson thought about the 3, takes it off the dribble, inside. Nice little floater. Woo. Dylan Anderson looking like Mike Conley in the paint with a little right-handed floater, and the Templars push the lead back to 8, 36-28.
Dylan Anderson taking it in on the trees and with the little floater. That's how you beat.
I love
That's
floater.
How you beat length, though, when you get into the lane if you're a shorter kid, is with a little floater like that. It's almost impossible to block that shot unless it's timed perfectly.
House for 3. No. Rebound, Frischnick. What a board for Reggie Frischnick. And a foul on Swarns. Just you leave your hand in the cookie jar long enough, eventually you're going to get caught. And that'll be just the second team foul on ALA. Both these teams have played pretty clean defense. Just 2 team fouls apiece here with 3 minutes to go in the third. Kayston Larson returns for the Templars. Hit a big 3 in that opening half. I don't think he's going to foul out, so I don't think I'm going to owe him
no steak dinner tonight.
I'm not taking him
No, I'm telling him it was a steak dinner. It's not dinner.
I said anywhere.
Oh, okay. All right.
I did say anywhere. And a foul on a Riker Mason. He can't believe it, but again, can't get caught with your hand in the cookie jar that long and expect nothing to happen. So the foul out in front on ALA.
Let's watch that replay. Yeah. Reaches across his body. Larson doing a good job to control that dribble.
Now, Roos Chris might be a little out of the question there, budget-wise, but
you said anywhere.
Have you ever had a Roos Chris steak?
Yes, I have.
Oh, my goodness.
You said anywhere, and I'm going to tell Kayston.
I did tell former Templar and Weber State alum Jared Sheese if Weber State beat Utah, I'd take him anywhere he wanted.
That's a tough task. And Kayston Douglas wasn't over.
That's true.
That is true. And the ball. So you see fans a little upset about that, but Kayston kept that back foot in the back court.
I was nervous there for a second.
Yep.
Frischnick catches high. Swarns reaching in, and Frischnick falls down, and going to be a travel, which is the case there. No foul. Definitely just fell down, but thought the foul maybe occurred about, before the dribble began. So turnover back to ALA. Templars still with an 8-point lead. And Anderson returns for Kayston Douglas. ALA basketball. Russ Gibson brings it down. Templars have scored more have scored more heading into the third quarter than either team did in the entirety of the first game.
Yeah, that's right. Oh,
what a play from Reggie Frischnick, and the ball will go back to ALA.
That play right there, that's not going to go in the stat book other than a deflection there. But look at this. That's how you win games. Look at Reggie hustle and knock that off the leg of the ALA.
Well, he got the initial tip on the entry pass, and then to have the IQ to tip it off the ALA, not even defender at that point. Templars break the press easily here. Larson Pogreski in the paint. Kicks it back out, Reggie. Reggie looks to put it on the floor, just lost the basketball. Swarns has it, and now they're going to call a foul on the Templars. These loose ball situations have been very up and down tonight. A lot of ebbs and flows in the officiating, the way kind of this backcourt pressure has been called all night.
I'll tell you, ALA puts a lot of ball pressure on the offensive player. They put a lot of pressure on the perimeter, and it's worked out quite a few times. A lot of turnovers on the Templars. And if they're not going to call fouls, I mean, they did call a couple of fouls. I'm not saying it's wrong. I don't think there was a foul. I don't think anything's wrong, a turnover here. But if they're not going to call it, man, that really plays into a team that's aggressive like that into their favor.
Riker Mason just couldn't catch the basketball and was actually pretty open for a shot, so Templars benefit there. And we're going to get a blocking foul.
Yeah, that's the right call. You gotta. So a lot of times when you want to get a charge, you talk about getting your feet set, and that's not in the rule book. What the rule book says is you got to get your torso in the right spot before the offensive player. You can own that spot defensively if you get your torso there, and you can see right there. Who was that on? Was that on Mason?
I think it was Riker Mason.
Yeah.
Yes.
So and he didn't get there. So.
Douglas and Swarns deflects it. It'll be Templar basketball. ALA very aggressive right now with
doing
the pressure.
Doing a good job. ALA's doing a great job. And if you're Coach Shakespeare, I think you say, Larson, get back and get that ball. You want this in Larson.
You're the point guard,
Yep, you want it in his hands. And ALA's doing a good job to take it out of his hands, but you want Larson to have that ball.
Progreski gets it up, Dylan Anderson. Lobs high for Hansen. Christian goes up and gets it. Takes it up on the baseline. Tough shot for two. It's off far. Taps it back out to Casperson. Casperson now, and Larson Progreski reading that like the defensive back he is. Transition triple. Got it. Larson Progreski with a Douglas Dentistry 3, and the Templars with their largest lead of the game at 11. 39-28, minute 30 to go.
Larson Progreski, you called it, man. Looking like the cornerback he is on the football field, and then knocking it down like the guard he is on the basketball court.
They kick it out. Gibson with it. Templars have started to pull away here. Inside Swarns. Strip Dylan Anderson, then goes between the legs. Progreski leads on the break. He goes behind the back. Will hold back out, give to Anderson. Anderson fumbles the basketball. Back to Larson Progreski. Larson, great one-handed pass in. Reggie Frischnick up and no. Rebound inside, comes down to House and the Eagles. Gibson in transition, guarded by Larson out on the perimeter now. Great look for the Templars. And the length of Farr just bothered it enough that it didn't quite go in. Swarns catches at the free throw line. Kicks it back to Casperson. House in the corner, Gibson. Gibson penetrates, drives, floats up a wild shot, and Frischnick can't quite get it. He taps it back out, bodies on the floor, and I believe we're going to get a jump ball. Possession arrow goes to the Templars. Christian Hansen getting on the floor.
I hope we can see this replay. Christian's going to end up with that, but look at Larson to tip it over to his teammate.
Yep.
That is on Larson Progreski getting on the floor. Great job by Larson.
In the moments needed most for the Templars tonight, it's been Larson Progreski, both defensively, whether it's making the steal, boxing out, tipping it to the teammate, and then offensively with the assists, as well as being smart with the basketball, taking good open looks from the three-point line. Larson has been the spark.
Steals, steals defensively, absolutely.
Kaston Larson back in for the Templars. Kind of have another point guard, a ball handler out there. 30 seconds to play. Larson with the basketball, looks to cross over out on Riker Mason. And Riker pokes it away. Larson dives on the floor, and they call a foul on Progreski. Gosh. And Devin's not really complaining about it, so they must have seen something better.
Did he dive into him? Yeah, okay.
So that makes a lot more sense on the replay,
If you're saying Larson dived into his legs, the only debate you would have if you're a Manti fan or somebody watching that's rooting for Manti is, did Larson beat him to the ball? But did he beat him to the ball because he dove into his legs, which is obviously what they called.
Ball comes over to Riker Mason. He's going to long skip pass, corner three, up and well short. Rebound, Reggie Frischnick gets it to Kaston Larson. 8 seconds to go. Larson up ahead. Beautiful pass. Christian Hansen finishes. Kaston Larson with the assist. Douglas the steal. And, oh, my goodness, nearly got that off in time. It doesn't count. Didn't go in. And the Templars take a 13-point lead heading into the fourth quarter. We'll be back with fourth quarter action next on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, Centricom Channel 10, MTCC Channel 3, and ETV.
Looking for the perfect color for your next paint project? Hermanson's Hardware in Ephraim has your solution. With their state-of-the-art color matching equipment and over 350,000 colors, anything is possible. Bring Hermanson's any size sample or your favorite Pinterest pin, and they can scan or match across all brands of paint. They've successfully matched paint colors from pillows, stucco, rock, paint cans, signs, plants, and more. Their high-quality finishes from Pratt & Lambert and Best Look will give you the professional results you're looking for. Don't put off those paint projects any longer. Drop by Hermanson's Hardware in Ephraim. It's how going to a hardware store should be.
Are you a new CDL license holder? If so, Barney Trucking would like to train and pay you to become a world-class truck driver on state-of-the-art equipment. They also provide you with reliable, courteous support, a fantastic wage, paid holidays, solid benefits, home daily schedules, paid time off, an excellent safety record, and respect. Dependable truck drivers have been Barney Trucking's #1 investment since 1947. Start your outstanding career by applying today at barneyjobs.com. barneyjobs.com.
You're listening to live high school sports action on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, Centricom Channel 10 and MTCC Channel 3.
Fourth quarter action. Templars built a 13-point lead. They won that quarter by 9. And really just phenomenal basketball all the way around, Greg. They only ALA only gave them up 9 points compared to the 15 they gave in the second quarter. Great job by the Templars, both in the transition game and in the half-court opportunities.
Yeah, first and third quarter defense from the Templars has been awesome. We'll see if they can carry it here into this fourth quarter and come away with a win to take on the Cowboys tomorrow, late at night. I think it's the 9-10 or so game or something.
Yeah,
like
that is the late one.
Yep.
Cross-court pass to Swarns. Gets it back over. Mason swings it. Now the drive by Russ Gibson. Kicks it out. Swarns takes the three. That's short. Rebound Larson Pogreski. Outlet to Douglas. Kaysen coast to coast. Lays it in for the deuce, and the Templars lead it by 15 now. They continue to build on their game-high lead.
I keep expecting the Tanner Wilkinson calling card coast-to-coast call, but I'll save it. We'll save it for later.
Christian Hansen with the block shot. Templars jump on it and will get, I believe, a jump ball. What are they talking about? And they do say jump ball. Possession goes back to the Templars with ALA getting it to start the quarter.
Christian Hansen straight up on that defense.
I steal that from Greg Rebel. The
coast
to coast like butter on toast is a Greg Rebel saying.
You got to save it for when it happens.
Fair enough.
That's one of my favorite Tanner Wilkinson calls. I don't care if Greg Rebel says
I am
first.
rocking the Cougs attire today with their game against Loyola. Dylan Anderson, a nice floater. That one's strong. And Christian Hansen, I don't think he realized Reggie Frischnick was the guy he was fighting for. Inside, no good. Reggie, the offensive board again. They just keep bumping into each other, but Reggie gets the basket. Templars now up 17 with 7 minutes to go.
Reggie and Christian playing the best low post defense on each other
that
they've seen all night down there.
Ball in the corner to Riker Mason. House with the basketball now. Templars with a 17-point lead. Cross court. Best look Riker Mason's had. It's well short. Zane Thornton, the rebound, blocked by Reggie Frischnick. Long pass. Good idea from Reggie. Didn't have the oomph to get it there as Gibson drives, and they call the reach-in foul out inside. And Larson, again, holding the jersey saying, me? Yeah, again, it's just going to be one of those 50-50s, the way this has been called tonight.
Well, and this morning. It saved Manti a layup.
I mean,
ALA wishes they wouldn't have had a foul called there because you would have had a layup for the Eagles.
Looking to trigger. Outside deep, it's Zane Thornton catching. Gives it over to Riker Mason. Now in the corner, it's Russ Gibson. Gibson will drive it baseline, takes it up for two, and it's short. Kaysen Douglas was hounding from behind, and that did enough. And,
and Reggie,
Templars got to be smarter with that.
Yeah, well, it's a travel. And Reggie's just got to get that to Larson. Larson's got to go get it from his post defender. The ball, Reggie just kind of dropped it for Larson, and Larson was cutting around him. So Reggie couldn't touch it again, but if he wouldn't have, and it would have been probably an easier look for ALA. So he touches it, gives the turnover to the Eagles.
Inside, Farr, no good. Ball tipped. Farr goes up and gets his own rebound. And Anderson called for the foul and was hugging his hip a little bit. So that'll actually, I believe, that'll be the 6. Okay, I was wondering if that was going to be 6 or 7. So ALA will shoot the rest of the way here. Ball comes into Farr, gets it back over to Riker Mason, one of the few seniors that really has a gigantic impact. Not that every impact's big with rolls, but it's not an impact that Farr or Gibson have, or even Swarns. Ball comes back to Gibson on the right side. Pogreski has been phenomenal on him. Templar help comes. Good job keeping the basketball, but once again, Farr can't finish, and the Templars fight for the loose ball, and they end up with the basketball with 6:01 to go and a 17-point lead.
And there's little moments in games where you can look back and say, that made a big difference. And right there, a couple of times Farr had good looks at the basket and could never finish.
Drive, Kaysen Douglas can't finish it. Rebound to Farr. That's the thing. Farr's had moments, so it just hasn't quite worked out in a few spots.
He's had looks.
That's right.
Down low, just hasn't finished.
Well, and defensively, he's had some good moments too, and can't finish that one. How many shots has he had that have bounced off the rim, and it will be ALA basketball?
Yeah, within about 5 feet of the basket, right? And he did knock down his 2 free throws earlier today. But he's going to have 2 more here. 17-point lead for the Templars.
Yeah, really have pulled away, and it's been on defense and transition opportunities. Larson, Pogreski, and Kaysen Douglas in that third quarter. And Christian Hansen. Got to give Christian a bunch of credit there. As far a 66% free throw shooter. Misses the first out of 2.
On the season and today. 2 for 3 today.
There you go. There you go. One more here for Farr, as the lead is gone far away for ALA.
Oh, Tanner.
I am a Greg Wrubell disciple, so I will.
Far away.
I will be here.
2 R's.
I will be here all weekend.
You will be here all weekend and tip your waitress. Oh, Tanner.
Second shot coming here from Farr.
You're too young for dad jokes.
You know who? I'm not a dad yet, or even close to it. But Brad James is a good pun dad joke guy.
Okay.
He will appreciate I said that.
So don't give him a mic.
Anderson. Oh my goodness, nearly Dwayne Wade's that.
That
just throws
crazy.
it up, and we'll get 2 free throws here. Dylan will go to the stripe where he shoots a 67%. And that's another guy he's taken more as his role has increased, and that number's continued to climb as the season rolls on here. Dylan will get 2 shots.
If he would have hit that one,
it reminds me of the Dwayne Wade shot against Detroit when Dwayne was young and Miami went on that championship run. He just drove in, threw it over his head, and the ball went in.
A couple of the kids on the bench are giving Dylan a little bit of laughing about that. Dylan keeps looking over and smiling at him.
First Go Insurance free throw is short. Go Insurance serves all of Central Utah. Call Go Insurance at 462-3333. Shout out to our sponsors. Haven't had a lot of timeouts called today. Security National Mortgage sponsoring our timeouts. You can get your local customer support from friendly, knowledgeable loan officers. CO Building Systems with our scoreboard tonight. As always, happy to have them along as Dylan goes 1 for 2 at the charity stripe. Templars now up 17.
9 points for Dylan. In this one, 6 in the first half, and then 1 field goal and a free throw here in the second half.
Larson Pogreski deflects it. And again, deflection's something we know the Manti staff very keen on, something they keep track of. Getting the ball out front. It's Gibson taken away. Long outlet to Douglas, and Kaysen goes coast to coast. Can't finish that one. Rebound comes down to Swarns. Swarns spins out of it. Still dribbling for a guy that doesn't handle the basketball a lot. Swarns nearly takes it himself, and Riker Mason. Oh, great reflexes from Coach Ronnie Ross.
Great reflexes.
You got to watch
Larson
this on the replay. Larson deflects it here, and Ronnie just right out of the way.
That would have been a man down there if that would have caught him. But
he's done a great job with this group, I tell you what.
I agree. 18 seed to make it to the quarterfinals. That doesn't happen very often in high school basketball.
Ball tapped back out, and Larson Pogreski with another deflection. Possession will stay with the Eagles with 5:06 to go here in this fourth. The way Manti's opened this up, it doesn't seem like we have this long of a way to go, but we still do have 5 minutes left as Keegan Strickland will replace Reggie Frischnick.
And Manti hasn't, they really haven't extended this lead, but the time just keeps ticking. I mean, it's been this 15, 16, 17 points for the last couple of minutes, and ALA's got to make a run if they're going to make a run. They got to get going if they're going to make a run here.
Ball fake from Mason. Gibson's got it on the right side. Templars in a 2-3. Kind of now matching up in a man. Coming out of that is Gibson. Gets it up to Mason. Riker, tough 3.
Short.
And if he doesn't have time to get set, that's the scouting report. Outlet Christian Hansen runs the floor beautifully, can't finish. And the Templars have had a few of those themselves tonight, despite the 17-point lead, as Gibson goes up for a floater and can't finish it. Rebound Hansen. Christian's got it. Goes with the home run pass. Caught. Douglas inside to Dylan Anderson.
How many times does that Dylan Anderson catch the alley-oop pass? He throws it, but how often does he catch it? What a pass and finish. Kaysen Douglas to Dylan Anderson.
Timeout ALA. It's a Security National Mortgage timeout. We'll take it on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, Centricom Channel 10, MTCC Channel 3, and ETV.
In the days of the Mountain Men, Cache Valley, Utah became a central gathering place for trappers and explorers. They named it Cache because it was there they would store their goods and come together to trade and connect. This spirit of community continues today at Cache Valley Bank with locations and services throughout Utah, including 3 branches right here in San Pete County. They're Central Utah's financial outfitter. No matter your mountain, they want to see you reach the top. Cache Valley and Central Utah are rooted in grand expeditions. Let's keep that heritage alive together. Discover Cache Valley Bank. Mountains await. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
At MTCC, we're more than just internet people. We're the connecting your life people. For the past 114 years, MTCC has been the local industry leader in connecting people and businesses by providing professional service with the best options in technology. If you need phone, TV, or internet service for your home or business, come see the experts at MTCC. Call or text us today at 435-835-2929. MTCC, connecting your life since 1907.
You're listening to live high school sports action on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, Centricon Channel 10 and MTCC Channel 3.
4:24 to go in the fourth. Templars with an 18-point lead. A guy you're pretty familiar with, Cam Sterner in the ball game for the Templars. Final 4:24.
Yep,
great
Cam.
defender. I joke, if hockey assists were kept in basketball, Cam would probably lead 3A in hockey assists.
Early in the year, yep. He's good at that. He likes finding the open man.
3-point shot missed. Again, the magic of Isaac House at North Sanpete not replicating here at Weber State. And again, depth perception, something we didn't talk about. That might be something that affects some shooters. Hasn't really affected the Templars' three-point shooting tonight. Kaysen Douglas good up and under, and he'll go to the free throw line.
So let's talk about that a little bit. Manti, Devin Shakespeare, as long as he's been at Manti, he will always schedule games at the Sevier Valley Center. And down at Dixie, they used to play the varsity games at Burns Arena. The last couple of years, they haven't done that. And he wants to do that because he wants to get his guys ready, used to that depth perception thing. So you don't show up somewhere like this, and it takes you a half to get used to it. So, it's worked for him. Whatever Devin does has worked while he's been at Manti. Kaysen knocks down both of them, gives him his 14th and 15th point to lead the way for the Templars.
Go Insurance free throws. Templars with a game-high 21-point lead. Under 4 to go here in the ball game, fourth quarter.
Perry's power guide, Nolan Perry, does, ranks all the teams. And this was the closest game for 3A. It was supposed to be within a point is what Nolan Perry had it.
That is interesting.
And here we are, 21 points for the Templars. 21-point lead.
Ball in the corner to Webster. Kicks it back out front. Number 13 is in the game. That's Anthony Chicone.
They've held ALA to just 10 points here in the second half, Manti has. How about it? How about it, Templars?
Missed free, and then inside the offensive rebound, Zach Webster for the deuce. Templars still up 51-31, 3:19 to go in the game. Kayston Larson with the basketball, gets it in the corner. Dylan Anderson just bounced off his head again, and then Larson bounces it off the head, and Douglas goes inside and draws another foul. Kayston Larson bounced it off of Russ Gibson's face, and Kayston Douglas ends up with it, and will go to the Go Insurance free throw line.
Definitely some ping-pong action going on there, but Kayson's going to go to the free throw line looking for points 16 and 17.
Has had a great night. He sparked the third quarter run, and then Larson Progreski kind of put the nail in the coffin when it came to that run, as Larson's going to get back in along with Dylan Christensen. Long horn here. I like that it's not a loud horn, though. I will say that here. It's a much nicer sounding bell than what we're used to at some of these arenas.
And I'm wondering if that is something to do with the shot clock, because it was on and now it's off. So got them both.
Knocks both down now. Checks out to a nice round of applause. Good game for Kaysen. You knew he was going to be a good shooter just watching him as an elementary school kid. Gym rat.
Yep, he's stuck with it. Does a great job for the Templars. Just a junior.
Yes. Gibson with the basketball. Good no-look inside, and great block shot from Keegan Strickland. My goodness.
Keegan recovering there and blocking that shot. Templars have done an excellent job at the hoop.
Yes.
As you mentioned in the pregame show, ALA, this is a team that put 66, is that right, 65? 66 on the Hawks last week. A good defensive Hawks team.
Yes.
Manti's held them to 31.
Jimmer range. It's off the mark that time from Zach Webster. And Kanab beats Millard. Wow.
That's
a 10 over a 2.
Wow.
54-50. The Cowboys live to see another day. And that's a young Millard team. They'll be back a year from now. Sterner gets it out to Kayston Larson. Cam catches low, turns, shoots off the rim, rebound inside, comes down to ALA. A good look from Cam inside. Transition three from Gibson. Strong. Doesn't hit anything. Kayston Larson the rebound. 2:16 to go. Kayston with the basketball. Pulls out. Gets it inside to Sterner. Cam power dribble inside, has it blocked, and now out in transition comes Casperson. Progreski the steal, gets it to Sterner. Sterner waits, goes up for two, and lays it in. Cam Sterner lays it in off the Progreski assist.
There we go. Third time's a charm for Cam. Good pass by Larson to find the open man down low.
And again, Larson is just a ball hawk.
Yep.
I mean, you watch his intelligence
to see the number
and
of steals.
Yes.
Yep. I'm interested to see the number of steals. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're 100% right. I mean, that's where I was going. That's why we work well together, Greg. We're on the same page.
That's right, brother.
Free throws for Gibson. This first time he's been to the line, he shoots a 79% rate at the line. Minute 57 to go.
He got the first one. 13 points now for Russ Gibson. Just a sophomore.
The
You're
fan
gonna hear
favorite
a lot about him.
has come in. Not to cut you off, but Ashton Swenson is in the ball game.
Great kid. Yep. Quality kid there, Ashton Swenson. Good. Put a lot of time into the Manti program.
Both free throws drop for Gibson. And checking back into the game is number 23. And again, this is a number we don't have in our scorebook, so it's not going to be one that gets shouted out.
Michael Jordan, number 23.
LeBron James.
Yeah, there you go.
Lob inside for Keegan.
Good
Takes
pass
it up
by
strong
Dylan.
for two. No, Kayston Larson, the offensive board. Kayston swings it out, and it's deflected. Taken away by the Eagles, number 23. Kayston comes from behind and pokes it right back, though. Strickland gets it up to Dylan Christensen now. Minute 38 to go for the Templars. Christensen with it. Crosses over. Pulls it back out. Gets to the free throw line. Into the bump. Christensen turns. Shoots. Nice little shot. No. Rebound Strickland. Keegan takes it up for two and lays it up and in. Templars extend their lead. 56-33.
Get Keegan in the scorebook with his first two. Tough kid down low. Kid, you'll be just a junior as well. He and Kayston Larson's a junior.
Yeah, this is a young group.
Yep, couple of juniors, couple of seniors out there. Now you're going to have some juniors and sophomores coming into this game. How would it be to be a sophomore?
To get a play at Weber
and
State.
to get into a game like this.
3-point shot, again, good. That one's good. Zach Webster for three. With a Douglas Dentistry three-pointer. Call them at 283-3000. Cam Sterner catches at the free throw line. Gets in the paint, kicks it out. Kayston Larson now. Swenson for three. He got it. Ashton Swenson for three.
I'll tell you one thing. Swenson at the Dixie. So Manti goes down in the summer to Dixie every year and plays. And he made it to the finals in the three-point shooting competition. Lost to the Cox kid from up in Logan, River, whatever it is. Or
he shoots 33.
Ridgeline.
Here's his shooting numbers on the year, Ashton. 42% from the field, 33 from three, a good three-point shooter. He has not missed a free throw. Granted, he's only taken four, but he's 4 for 4 on the year. So,
there you go.
And now a whole plethora of subs for the Templars.
Yeah, because so coming in, Jessen Barton, sophomore. Jaden Barton, sophomore. Talon Rasmussen, a junior. Hayden Wade, a junior. Austin Thomas, another sophomore. 3 sophomores, 2 juniors in for the Templars. The bench gets emptied. Coach Shakespeare gives a hug to all those kids that come out.
Subs for hugs.
Subs for hugs for the Templars. 59-36, under a minute left.
Templars will be matching up with the Cowboys again. I believe that's our nightcap tomorrow, Greg. I assume you and I will be on the call for that one as well. Grantsville,
I hope so. I hope we are. I don't know who else.
I'd be stunned if we weren't. I'll put it that way.
Right.
I almost was a Grantsville Cowboy for a year. Ended up being a Stansbury Stallion instead. Yeah. Would have rather been a Cowboy. I'm not going to mince anything for Stansbury there. And it looks like an offensive foul going the way.
Stepped out of bounds. Out of bounds. Yeah. Preston Thompson's going to come in now for Austin Thomas. Basically, this is just Coach Shakespeare getting everybody into this game that dresses.
Yeah.
Not all the sophomores dress in the Manti program, but
right.
But Preston Thompson is in now, brother of Mason and Grady. You've probably heard a lot of their names if you're a basketball fan in Utah.
And Jessen Barton will now go to the free throw line. He's got a younger brother that's in 8th grade that's a very good point guard.
Yeah.
Will Barton, not the Will Barton that plays for the Denver Nuggets. I always call him Will the Thrill when I see him play, is now Jessen will go to the free throw line. He doesn't know that. He has no idea who I am, Will is. I just know he plays with my brother-in-law. And good little point guard coming up in the program is the lefty. Didn't know Jessen was a lefty. Connects on the free throw there for the Templars. Manti shot very well from the free throw line tonight, Greg. I'm interested to see that final number from Brad James.
Yeah.
One more free throw here. Up and good. 61-36. Templars up 25 as ALA's magical playoff run will come to an end here.
Well, they'll play tomorrow in the consolation
That's a good point.
bracket, but run to a state championship comes to an end. There you go.
Webster shot no good. Barton has it tipped, gets it back now to Jaden Barton. His dad, Jaden looks like his dad.
Yeah.
He looks like
except
Mike Barton.
Except Jaden's, Mike Barton's one of the best post players Manti's ever had in the
Jaden's
program.
more of a guard.
And Jaden's more of a guard, even though he's got a lot of height.
He's got some size,
length. Yep.
That's your final. Templars win it 61-36 over ALA. Manti advances to the Final Four that will take place tomorrow here at Weber State University. We'll be back with our post-game show next, brought to you by Sunrise Engineering, creating solutions that work and relationships that last. Sunrise Engineering, learn more at sunrise-eng.com. MidUtah.com. We'll be back on the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network, Centricom, Channel 10, MTCC, Channel 3, and ETV.
It's beginning to warm up again, and that means it is time to get your boats, motorcycles, and side-by-sides ready for another spring and summer. As you begin to polish up the chrome on your prize toys, remember how valuable these toys and the occupants are. Here at Risk Managers, we specialize in insuring these valuable items because we are out there with you in the hills and on the water. Please reach out today or come see us in Ephraim or Taylorsville. Visit us at riskman1.com.
Thirsty for a refreshing drink or maybe craving a tasty treat or meal on the go? The Park and Pump convenience stores have it all. Take advantage of Park and Pump's Thirsty Thursday, where fountain drinks are just 79 cents. Park and Pump also features quality